didn't really get involved in sports and stuff in school just because of the size of the school. It wasn't really something we did. But I was a cheerleader all the way through middle school, all the way up to high school. Cheerleading is a waste of time, by the way. Unless you're going to compete and make it a sport, then it's a waste of time. I have a twin brother, so I was always around his sports. I never really got to play, but he's my twin, so I got to put my hands on him. My first combat sport was, really, I found MMA. I didn't have much of an athletic background at all. I tried wrestling for a minute just because they asked me to. Well, actually, the story is when I was a freshman in high school, I went to my wrestling coach and asked him to be on the team, and he told me that girls on the wrestling team would be an issue and he would make it a living hell and it wouldn't be worth my time. So I said, forget it. If you don't want me there, I don't want to be there. And then my senior year, he came up to me and asked me to wrestle for him at 103, and I said, really? I could have been badass by now. So I took him up on it. I was on the team for about 3 months, and it just didn't work out it just didn't work out. So I steered away from that, and then just went through high school. And I was actually my senior year, I was a mechanic, just trying to find a career. Spent a lot of time working. And well, I guess I don't know if you call it combat sport or anything like that, but my first extreme sport was bull riding. I rode bulls when I turned, so I was almost 18. It was a couple months before I turned 18, I started riding bulls. Down in the country, that's about all you got. So I did that for a summer and a winter, got on about 13 bulls, went to rodeo school, tried that out. I did get hurt a couple times, got stepped on by one of the biggest bulls in the ring, and Mom didn't like it, so she asked me to quit. So I put that down and stopped doing that. Actually, I live my life, I'll try anything twice, and maybe I'll be good at it. You don't know until you try. So I put myself out there. It's one thing that I'll do. I'll always try. My mom's very supportive. She tells me that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Just got to put your mind to it. I never knew really anything about the sport. I thought it was one day you're just thinking you want to fight, the next day you got to be in the UFC. I didn't know there was anything in between. So I went to a local card with a pro fighter, and actually in between intermissions, the announcer got in the cage and said, anybody can be a cage fighter. And I looked at him and said, anybody? He's like, anybody. I was like, even me? And he's like, yeah. I was like, so how do you get involved? He's like, well, we got class on Monday. So I started training that Monday, and 2 months later I took my first fight. Mom was a little nervous, but she said, there's a ref, and you can tap out. Nobody's, like, when you ride a bull, you can't tell the bull to stop. Even the rodeo clowns can't save you, 2,500 pounds compared to 105 pounds. Mom was definitely more supportive about me being a cage fighter than a bull rider. So I've never put my hands on anyone. I've never been in a street fight. I've never even had anybody confront me about an issue. Like, I'm a pretty nice person, try to live happy life. I don't get stressed out very easily, and I don't let a lot of negativity consume me. So I never had the issues, in the street. I've never had problems with people. So actually it was very interesting for me to see how that would be to actually put my hands on somebody in an aggressive way. Training, I trained for 2 months before my fight and trained with some of the best fighters, local Kansas City fighters, Rob Jackson and Shane Barnett and Courtney Landis. They were all pro fighters, and they treated me real well and taught me everything I know and got me ready and had me confident and ready to step in that cage. So by the time it came to my first fight, this girl came from Oklahoma to fight me up here in Missouri, so that was kind of intimidating that she'd make the travel just to fight me. But I beat her in the first round, minute 39, ground and pound. So it was nice. I felt really bad because it was actually the first time I ever hit anybody, and I broke her nose and gave her 2 black eyes. So my first loss was actually, it was kind of hard to handle because she weighed in at 145 pounds, and I was like at 111 pounds. But I traveled for that fight, and amateurs back then, it was back in 2008, so there wasn't any girls to pick from, so it was take what you get, and she was supposed to be at 125, and I agreed that I could handle 125.
Yeah.
She ended up not making weight, so I drove 4 hours and decided, well, let's just see what happens, and kind of find out she was a college wrestler and had great game and threw me around like a rag doll, but I told myself, just survive. It's only 9 minutes, so I went all 3 rounds, and she won, and I felt good about it. It was hard to lose, but one, I didn't have to worry about being undefeated. It's no big deal now. And two, like, I proved to myself that I could handle 145 pounds all 3 rounds. So, well, I am very independent. I live on my own, and I own everything I have. It's not much, but I don't ask for anything. I don't, everything I have, I work for it, and I feel like I've gotten pretty far at the age of 24. I own my house, and I have a few toys, and now I have a hobby, and it was a hobby when I started, and just this year I decided that I've invested 4 years of my life to it. I might as well take it as far as I can, and now my goal is to go pro. You got to respect the fact that we're putting ourselves in there, I just wish people would respect MMA a little bit more and not look at it as a backyard brawl, because I've never been in a street fight, and I never plan to, but I'll keep fighting and take it as far as I can. So.